Okay, so first thing, to be able to draw our plan, we know it's going to be in here somewhere below the elevation. Okay, we also know if we take these points across 45 degrees from our end view, like that, and like that, will give us the kind of basic shape that we're dealing with. Alright, so that's our basic rectangle. So I know that my plan's going to be in here. Okay, I'll just zoom in here for now. Okay, so I know that my plan is going to end up in here. Okay, so I've just taken these two lines straight down. I've taken the two end points from the end view straight down to the XY line. I've taken them across 45 degrees, and that gives me that distance there. Okay, otherwise what you could have done was measure down whatever gap you have here. So I have a 20mm gap. You would have came down 20, and then you knew the thickness of this is 28mm, so you would have came down 28 then. Okay, you could have done that as well. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the center point across as well. Okay, we're going to need it. So I'm going to take my center line across, and I'm just going to add it in to my plan. Okay. Okay. So to be able, so I know that's the basic outline of my shape, but I know looking down at the plan, especially from our 3D here, I know that we're going to have like an ellipse shape or something on the top. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to split our end view up into 60-30. Okay, so you can go ahead and do that. Split it up 60-30. So take your time. Split up, so we need generators, as we call them, to give us points. So you should end up splitting this up into 12 equal sections. Okay, so I split that up into 12 equal sections, and I'll label them 1, 2, all the way up to 12. Okay, I must let somebody in here. Okay, so just get that split up and divide it, and just label it 1 to 12. Okay, it'll come in handy later when things get a bit messy. Alright. What we also need is we will need all these points along our cut surface. This is effectively a cut surface. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to take 1, 2, 3 and so on the whole way straight across to meet the cut surface. Now obviously 2 and 12 are going to be on the same point, 3 and 11 will be on the same point, and so on. Okay, so I'll just use the yellow marker here. So obviously 7, do it in orange actually, it'd be easier for you to see. 1 is obviously going to be along here, and 7 is going to be along there. Okay, we don't need to do anything to get them points across the cut surface. The rest of them, you can just take them straight across. Again, you only need to take them across from 1/2 because okay. So that's going to be 2 and 12. This one's going to be 3 and 11, 4 and 10. Here's going to be 5 and 9, and here we have 6 and 8. Okay. So you get a range of points along the cut surface, and we have our points as well. Basically, we have our points in the end view and the elevation now. Okay. And basically what we need to do is we need to go round in a kind of square, so we need to rotate the points the whole way around, and basically we'll end up with 1 and 1 meeting down here in plan, 2 and 2, and so on. Okay, I'm just going to use my pencil for this, otherwise it'll get too messy with all the colours. I know that 1 and 7 are along the centre line that I've already taken down. Okay? But I know if I take 7 down from here, it's going to be exactly at that point there. Okay? So I'm just going to label, I know that's 7 straight away. Okay? I'm going to take 1 down as well. Straight line down. Okay? And that gives me 0.1. Alright. And we're just going to go ahead and get 2, 3 and so on. Okay. So to do that, we need to take these lines across at 45 degrees. So what you need to do is take them down to the XY line. Okay. So if you take them all down to the XY line first, again, there'll be 2 points on each line. For example, there 11 and 9 are on the same point. You'll end up then basically with a range of points along here. Okay, that one we've already used in the center. Okay, you should end up with, you probably should have 7 points there. Okay, yeah, 7. Okay, so then just get your 45 degree set square. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these points just across now to speed it up. Across like that. Guys, again, if anyone has any questions throughout this, you can ask. Okay, so you take your lines down there at 45 degrees. Okay, and just take them straight across the plan then, like that. If you want, you can label these as well. Okay. And then the points just come down straight from the other side, or from the elevation. So the point 2 and 12 are going to be along there. So I match 2 up, so 2 is going to be there. Okay, so you can label them. And then 12 is going to be here. And you can take, I'm just going to take all these points down, speed it up. Everybody should have the idea by now. Nothing new in it anyway. Okay, and just join your points up then. Okay. So 3 for me is there. There's 3. I know 4 is going to be here. 5. That would be 6, 7, 8 here. 9, 10 is going to be on the edge. That'll be 11. I've already got 12. Okay. And that is your shape. It's kind of going to look roughly like an ellipse kind of shape. What you can do then is freehand. Join your points together, so take it nice and easy first. So you can see I'm doing it lightly with a pencil, and after that then I'll get the marker and darken it in so you can see it better. Has anyone got any questions at this stage? As I say, we're just doing part 1, which is to finish off the plan. Okay, and you can darken in the rest of the lines then. But you would see from there to there, from there to there. Okay, so that's your plan completed. Alright. Okay, so the next thing we need to do then is to do the development. Okay. Alright, going back to the question again, this is on Google Classroom if you can't see it here. The question, draw the plan and then complete a surface development of the given cylindric section. Okay, so that whole section that we've drawn, we need to draw the full development of this. Okay, which is actually going to be fairly simple. We've already divided the circle, or the end view if you like, into 12 sections. Okay, and we know this is going to be the length of it, so if I extend these two lines down, I could draw the development down here. Okay, there's actually nothing new in this question, so if I extend these points down, now if you don't have enough room down here for it, you can come up here, but it means you need to get the thickness, which is going to be 70, and you'd have to mark 70 here and then draw the development there. Okay, I should have enough room here to draw. So again, I'm just going to leave a gap here between my plan and my development. Okay, so I'm going to start my development here. Hopefully I'll have enough room. Okay, again, like we done before the week off, you're just going to measure any one of these distances. So I'm taking the distance from 1 to 2. And again, you're just going to mark that off. So you start at 1, you go to 12, but then you need to end up at 1 again. So I'll take my time. You need 13 equal places basically. And you should label these as you go along. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'll need an extra one then to get back to 1 again. Okay. And again, you should label them. Alright, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You keep going until you get to 12, then you have an extra one for 1. Okay. What you can do then is just join light lines back. Okay, again, these aren't going to be fold lines, so we just do light construction lines. We don't need to do dashed lines because we're not actually folding these lines, because if you're doing the development, cutting it out, it would actually be just a cylinder. Okay. Okay. So that's the basic shape for the cylinder. Now as we can see, there's a cut surface, so it's not a perfect cylinder. Okay, so the next step now is to kind of get the points on the opening here, which is our kind of ellipse shape. Okay, so all we have to do is basically take them lines straight down. Okay, for example, point 1, match it up with 1. Okay, point 2, match it up with 2, and so on. Okay, so this is very, very simple. So point 1 is going to be there. I'm going to need a 1 down here as well. Okay, so just label them. So that's point 1, and that's point 1. Going to take 2 and 12 down at the same time. So you should be getting the idea here now. That'll be 2. That's 12. Okay, you might have your points labelled differently. If you do, you need to follow them numbers. Okay, that'll be 3 and 11. And so then I have 4 here, 10 here. So I'm not taking the line straight down, I'm just crossing it where I need to cross it to keep it tidier. 6 and 8, and then you should have 1 in the middle for 7, which should be at that point there. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. I already have 11, 12, and 1. Okay. Well, once you get all them points, then you can just join them together. Okay, and that is basically our question completed. Okay, there is only the one piece to this development, so it's nice and easy. Okay, but you see in this question we actually had to complete a plan to be able to complete the actual development itself. Okay. Okay, and that is the development. Now you should have had enough room here. If you didn't, again, the development can be drawn anywhere. I always draw it somewhere that saves me basically doing a measurement. I'm not sure how clearly you can see that on the screen, but anyway. So I try to draw the development underneath somewhere that gives me an advantage where I don't actually have to do as much measuring. You see here by drawing it underneath the plan and the elevation, I just had to take straight lines down. All I had to do then was mark the 12 sections, or 13 sections. Okay. There's nothing wrong with drawing the development over here. Okay, anywhere at all on the sheet where you have space is perfect. The reason I drew it here is just because I had that distance and all I had to do was take 2 straight lines down. At the end of the day, that is only 70 mil. Okay, so you can draw the development anywhere in your sheet that you have space. It doesn't have to be in any specific place. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the camera here.